It's funny, I was just joking about how every time I cover a game, they're never normal games. And this one fit that description. The Yankees drop it 7-1, losing to the Baltimore Orioles in game one. Andrew Heaney, Brian Cashman's only starting pitching acquisition at the deadline. He got the start, and the first 2 innings he was great. 9 pitch innings, soft contact, looked like the real deal. But then with 2 outs in the third, things unraveled. He gave up back-to-back homers. And the long ball, nabbed him again in the fourth. He gave up 2 more. Should have been more runs. Another one hit off the wall. Joey Gallo made an amazing play. His play of his Yankee short-lived career so far to save another run. But so 4 innings, 4 runs for Andrew Heaney. Certainly not the greatest first impression, but this one you have to put the blame on the offense. You're facing a 2-12 starting pitcher, 6 ERA Jorge Lopez, and it's not even that he pitched well. It's just the Yankees made him look unstoppable. He had 5 no-hit innings to start, and everything was over the plate. The Yankees just weren't hitting. He didn't have his command at all. He ended the game 6 innings, 1 hit, a Joey Gallo double. He threw 58 strikes, 58 balls. So he did not have the command at all, and when you have that little of command, the Yankees need to capitalize. They did not do so one bit. 6 innings, 1 run off him, 1 run the entire game. And if you're looking at the poster child, at least for today, to put the blame on the offense, it's DJ LeMahieu. He continues to hit leadoff off this team for whatever reason. He went 0 for 5 today, left 7 on base. And on the year, I think it's really about time. The Yankees need to look at this lineup and say, we need a better hitter leading off. He's in the 260s, 97 weighted runs created plus. He has 0 power. And the leadoff is like your arguably most important spot because they're going to get the most at-bats. You saw it in this game. He was the only Yankee with 5 at-bats. He ended the game with the flyout. So you need to put a guy in who's hot, a guy like Rizzo, a guy like Judge or Gallo who gets on base at high rates. Because DJ LeMahieu's not cutting it. It's not 2019 anymore. It's not the short-lived juice ball 2020. He's not that hitter right now. He's been league average at best, and that really hurts you when you have that at your top of the lineup. He's arguably, if you want to debate here, the 7th best hitter at best in this lineup. I can make a very strong case that Bruno Odor deserves way more playing time over him. He has better numbers across the board, higher OPS, way more power, even better with runners in scoring position. So I think that's a really something we have to look at tomorrow. I would not be surprised if we see DJ LeMahieu finally get off that leadoff spot. He started every game this year in that leadoff spot. He started 1 game at second, but I really do think it's time to change that. Another note from this one, in the Yankees offense, I'd say their most entertaining part of the offense, there was a cat in the bottom of the 8th. It electrified the crowd. It got MVP chants. It avoided security a ton. They kept failing to pick it up. And that was probably the highlight of the Yankees offense. It really was. So, yeah, overall it was a crappy, sloppy game from the Yankees. But that's not even the story in this one. I wrote up this report and had to kind of retune that whole thing because of Aaron Boone's press conference. The more he said, the worse news got for the Yankees. So it started with Urshela getting placed on the 10-day IL. It's that hamstring that bothered him in Miami, kept him out of the starting lineup. Doesn't look too serious. They said they're going to backlog his IL stint 2 days behind. So 8 to 10 days for Gio. It sounds like we'll see if it ends up being that. We don't know the corresponding move yet. And then Domingo Germán, who was placed on the IL after a start the other day in Miami, it got announced he has rotator cuff, an injury there. He's going to be shut down for 7 to 10 days before things get going. And, you get those 2 injuries. I'm writing those out, writing those tweets out. But then that Bronx, that experience right there. But then things get really questionable. And Aaron Boone announces that Gerrit Cole tested positive for COVID. He was scheduled to start tomorrow, test positive. So that's going to be, we don't know how long. We don't know if he's vaccinated, if he has to wait those 10 days. But Gerrit Cole will not be able to start tomorrow. You have to assume he's missing at least the next 2 starts with the scheduled start tomorrow. It probably gets pushed to 3 because you don't want to throw him out there right away. Aaron Boone said Nestor Cortez would likely take his place. That's not confirmed. And this is a really bad break for the Yankees. It is. It seems like they can't get on the right side of COVID this year. Their biggest series, you had Judge and all those guys things positive. Now you need Cole to step up following a Game 1 loss where you are chasing teams in the standings. You need every win, and you don't get Gerrit Cole. So that does really hurt the Yankees. Now the only bright side of that is the schedule is really light coming up. You have the Orioles right now, obviously Mariners, he missed a start. Royals, those are some games that you can survive without Cole. Nestor Cortez has obviously been a godsend this year. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. But at the end of the day, it does hurt when you don't have your starter going every 5 days. And you try to add some positive to this report because it's been pretty negative so far. Joey Gallo talked after the game about, it was his first time in pinstripes. He talked about that experience, what it was like to play in front of the Bronx faithful for the first time as a Yankee.
It's obviously different, playing my first game on the road. This first game here felt fresh, and wearing those pinstripes, and obviously growing up watching that was it was pretty amazing, and the roll call with the fans and whatnot. It's a special place to play. So I just feel honored to play here, and obviously would have been great to get a win, but it was still a special day for me.
So just to get back to this series here, to wrap things up, with Nestor Cortes probably starting tomorrow, you have to win it. You have to take 2 of 3. Going in, I said a sweep was the only scenario. It wasn't best or worst case. But obviously you have to readjust expectations. You lose tonight, but you have to beat this Orioles team. You're going to have the advantage. Whoever you start tomorrow, that's just how bad the Orioles have been. You can't drop this series when you're coming in, winning 5 of 6, including in Tampa, with the trade deadline momentum that you have, and especially where you are in the standings, right? You can't really afford to let one slip against a bad Orioles team, so they have to find a way tomorrow. Tough one today, but a big game tomorrow. They can still salvage this series overall. I'm Ryan Gregware, reporting live from Yankee Stadium for WFUV Sports.